support it. I will apologize for the rest of my life for voting for the guy. That undoes any positive that might have come out of this. So just to be clear on that, it would be the most disastrous policy, and I just can't even believe. I mean, maybe like I didn't even mean it, but I can't believe anyone would think like, that somehow we're now in the business of just sucking up to Donald Trump.
And let me just say, Dave, the reason why that person said that is because there's a track record among MAGA where when Trump does something that they personally don't like, what they do is they go, oh, Trump was duped by these nefarious forces around him. He didn't really want to do that thing, but he ended up doing that thing because he's getting bad advice from the people around him. So that's why people think that, is because there's always this song and dance and this mental gymnastics that goes into it for virtually every other Trump supporter, where Trump does something evil and horrible and wrong, and they go, well, that doesn't really count because that wasn't him, that was the neocons, that was this person, that was that person. No, like, it is him. He makes decisions. He's a grown-ass man. He's fucking 79 years old. He's doing the shit that he wants to do. Okay, so let's get that clear. But to Dave's credit, as I said, here he is on Breaking Points, and he says the following.
It was in 2007 that the Pentagon told George W. Bush that we cannot go to war with Iran because we do not have escalation dominance against them, essentially meaning that they can hit all of our bases and...
It's like this guy right here. Sam, are you really this stupid? War is not determined by one person. It is in America. The person who calls for war is the president, and then it's approved by Congress. But in the case with the president, he does a special, what it was called? What do they call? Executive orders, right? So you're going to do an executive order to skirt around it. So yes, it is one person. The buck stops at fucking Trump, Nazi. Fucking Trump, Nazi. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking Nazi. We got a MAGA Nazi sneaking in here. How's having a nice peaceful walk, and this MAGA Nazi piece of shit had to come in and post his bullshit. Sorry. You're fucking excommunicated. Come on, Lisa. Keep the chat free. Lisa, you gotta keep the chat free. You see those maggots, you gotta put the maggot. Smash that maggot. Smash it. All right, great. Let's continue on. Here, this
She's in the region,
Trump
and
supporter.
we are very vulnerable to them. And we've already seen demonstrated since the Israeli attack that the Iranian the missiles that they sent last year
Good morning,
toward Israel,
Crystal.
as many of us guessed, that wasn't really their best. They were intentionally making an attack that wouldn't really hurt anybody, that wouldn't really lead to a war, which Iran has done over and over again. But
It's
now
all right,
they've pushed
Lisa.
them to the point where they
I'm
probably
teasing.
don't feel that they have the
Don't
option
feel
now
bad.
to respond. And Donald Trump telling them to come back to the negotiating table now is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, what an impotent leader to be sitting there
Impotent
talking
leader.
about coming back to the negotiating
Impotent
table. It's like
leader.
sitting after Pearl Harbor and telling FDR, now's the time to go negotiate with the Japanese.
Right.
Negotiations are over now. The time for negotiations was before this. And so, yeah, Donald Trump, listen, man, I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one. And not on some like...
Impeached
not on some
and
ridiculous Nancy
removed.
Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of, corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like yeah.
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I know, I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this. So it's just a devastating mistake. By the way, on top of that, he's also going to lose the deportation fight because of this. Because right now he needed all the political capital he could have to turn that, you got a majority support for deportations, but the minority is very mobilized and they're out and they're protesting all around the country. He needed all of his political capital for that move. So here's what we got. The neocons win. More war abroad and, bomb the world and invite the world. No matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain.
So he apologized for supporting Trump, and he said he should be impeached over this. That is the strongest anti-Trump sentiment I've ever heard from a Trump supporter, maybe my entire time following politics. Couple points there, though. He says, well, now he's going to lose the deportation fight because of this. Dave?
You already lost it.
I got some good news for you, pal. The mass deportations will continue. I don't know if you noticed, but there's ICE raids across the country where they're rounding up innocent people and shipping them out with no due process whatsoever. And in my mind, if anything, it's the opposite. Trump is now going to double down on that and triple down on that because he feels like he's an authoritarian in the corner now and there's dissent. And so what do they do?